Swerve up on that scene, hop out engine looking clean.
Alright, what's up guys, Poison here, I'm back, and today is my first ever storytime video. Now, I said before I wanted to do storytime videos, but I don't want to do like the usual storytime videos that other YouTubers do, you know, where they talk about going to parties and stuff like that. Maybe I will have a party video later. Right now I don't think I have any party stories to tell, but yeah, right now I'm recording audio, I'm not recording video. I don't know what video I'm going to put, probably 60 seconds. I'm just recording audio right now to see how long I'm going to have to record a video for. And then, you know, just splice the videos together. The audio is not going to be tied to the video at all. That's why I don't want to have them together. So, today this video is going up on Tuesday, October 24th. Now, today is the 23rd. It's Monday. There's not going to be a quick play out today. And, you know, people may not like that. I want to do it like this because, you know, today is kind of like an important date. So, 6 years ago today, it was actually Monday, not Tuesday. But 6 years ago, in 2011, on October 24th, I actually ended up going to the hospital, and that's where I found out I was diabetic. And, you know, I've, you know, just been diabetic for 6 years now, pretty much. So that's insane, you know. Over time, I've actually gotten, you know, better. Still diabetic, but I don't rely on insulin as much as I used to when I first went to the hospital. Now, before we get into our story, the story today is basically going to talk about why I'm afraid of needles. Because just, you know, while having to take, what, 6 shots a day? You know, at least 5 shots a day, but many more depending on it. I'm just going to talk about what led up to me finding out I was diabetic. And then, you know, from there, everything else has happened. So, let's go back to 2011. It's October. Maybe even September, but definitely October is when I started feeling symptoms. You know, for the month of October, I definitely recall I wasn't able to eat anything. Like, anytime I ate something, even if it was something small, I would instantly start wanting to throw up. I couldn't handle food. And, you know, my parents were worried because for a whole month, I didn't eat. You know, and they thought, okay, something's going on. Maybe, you know, like, they thought puberty. They thought I was falling in love with someone. My family didn't know what was going on at all. Like, I didn't even know what was going on. So, I remember, like, this isn't in chronological order, the story, but, I remember one day my mom decided, like, hey, he hasn't eaten at all for, like, the past few days. Maybe we should go buy him something he really likes. So, you know, they went to Jack in the Box. They bought me something I like to eat usually. I took, like, 2 bites, and then I stopped eating. I couldn't even finish it. But, yeah, for the month of October, I couldn't eat anything. My sugar was super high. I didn't know that. It wasn't until I went to the hospital that I found out. But, you know, I couldn't eat anything. All I wanted to do was drink. Like, I just wanted, like, liquids. That's all I wanted. And not, like, liquids to, like, eat and get, like, you know, your supplement. Like, not, like, those protein drinks or anything like that. I just wanted, like, sugary drinks. I just wanted soda, Kool-Aid, juice, whatever. I wasn't drinking water at all. I was just pounding sugary drinks over and over and over again. And it made me feel not better, but it made me feel all right. So I literally just stuck to drinking stuff. One day, actually, it was the, was it the 23rd? Yeah, it was actually the 23rd, which was a Sunday. So technically today, a family member had a party at her house in Patterson. Now, this isn't really relevant to the story that much, but a lot of my family lives in Patterson, actually. I have 2 aunts, technically. From my mom's side, I have 2 aunts, where from my dad's side, I have an uncle and an aunt, you know. So a lot of my family is actually in Patterson. So this one person who was a family member had a party, and she invited my mom. And obviously, you know, if my mom goes somewhere, I was still a minor, you know, I would go with her. So, you know, we go to this party, and they have, like, a taco truck, like, people actually making tacos then and there. And I just remember, like, dude, I don't want to be here, you know, I just wanted to go. So I decided to go to my grandma's, and my cousin Manuel was there, and, you know, he's like, hey, you want to ride bikes? You know, he's like, we could walk down to my house, which, you know, my aunt's house was, like, really close by to our grandma's. So I'm like, yeah, you know, but we decided to go there. We decided to go to my aunt's house. From there, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm getting swarmed. I'm dead. Yep, sorry guys, I'm playing Killing Floor 2. Also, I'm trying the daily challenge from yesterday to do beat a map on Hell on Earth, which is like the hardest difficulty, and I just got cornered. So yeah, my brother who went with us to the party, he decided to drop us off at my grandma's. And then from my grandma's, you know, I saw my cousin was there. We decided to go to his house. And from there, we decided to ride bicycles back to our grandma's house. You know, he's like, hey, let's just go for a bike ride. I'm like, all right, you know, even though like this whole month also, I was just super sleepy. I couldn't stay awake much. I remember in school, I'm just falling asleep all the time. Teachers are like, they're suspecting me being on drugs and stuff. So, you know, I'm just falling asleep, and in my mind, I'm like, yeah, let's go for a bike ride, you know, sure, what's the worst that could happen? And nothing happened, but we ride our bikes back to grandma's, and it was hot too, like this day, especially because Patterson gets pretty hot. It's not really, it gets cold sometimes, but it's usually hot. So we get there, he's like, hey, you want some water? I'm like, sure, I was like super thirsty, you know? I'm like, sure, I'll drink some water. And this is like the first time drinking water that I recall during October, and instantly I had to go throw up. Like, I don't know why. Maybe I was just like, maybe it wasn't even the fact that I drank water. I'm pretty sure even if I would drink soda, I would have been sick. So, you know, I drink water, and instantly I'm like, oh, dude, I had to run to the bathroom. Like, and I instantly start puking for like 5 minutes. It's bad. Not like bad enough where I'm dying, but it's like, oh, I kind of was dying actually. We'll talk about that more, but yeah. So basically, you know, I drink this water and I get really sick, and then I'm like, oh, dude, I don't even want to ride bikes anymore. So he's like, all right, fine. You know, let's just ride back to my house, and then we'll just drop the bikes off. I'm like, all right. So yeah, that happens. You know, nothing else happens at the party. Then we decide, you know, it's already like nighttime. So someone was like, all right, let's go. So the next day, she wakes me up to try to go for school. I'm like, I don't feel good at all. I don't want to go to school. So she's like, all right, fine. Stay home, you know. And at the time, my brother was his ex-girlfriend, and she was home all day too. So she sees me laying in my mom's bed, you know, like all the fans on. I'm burning up. I don't even have a shirt on. I'm just like dying of heat. So she decides to like call my mom and be like, hey, you know, he's super sick. Like something needs to happen. So my mom gets off work, and she instantly takes me to the hospital. And they run some tests on me, you know, I'm still like passing out. I'm still like, you know, what the hell's going on? So they run tests, and they test my blood glucose, which is basically blood sugar, but apparently blood sugar and blood glucose aren't the same thing, even though glucose means sugar. So that's weird as hell when it comes to like diabetes and stuff. So they're running these tests. They're like, he could almost go into diabetic shock, which would lead to a coma. I don't remember my exact number. I think it was like 800, 825. They're like, at 850 is usually when people go into diabetic shocks, when they go into comas. They're like, thankfully you brought him. So, you know, that Monday they're like, we're not sure if he's fully diabetic, but right now he has the signs of diabetes. We're gonna have to keep him a few days, and then we'll test to see if he's truly diabetic. They kept me in the hospital for, I want to say, is a week. My brother swears it was 2 weeks. I honestly feel like it was just 1 week in the hospital, but everyone keeps telling me it's more. So, mind you, another thing is that when I went to the hospital, I forgot a lot of memories, like stuff that wasn't too important. I forgot, like, not people, I still remembered people, but like a lot of minor little events in my life I forgot. So that's what's gonna make the story time, you know, funner, like, or make this story time series funner, because I don't really remember a lot of things from life. Like, if it wasn't major, I just forgot about it. And then even now, I forget about a lot of things that aren't major to me. But yeah, they keep me in the hospital for a week. They let me out on Halloween. Like, they were gonna let me out that Friday before Halloween, because Monday was on Halloween. They're like, we're gonna keep them for the weekend. And I'm like, you know, early in the morning they tell me, hey, you know, later today you'll be going out. And I'm like, I'm super happy, you know, because after being in the hospital for a week, I'm like, you know, after like the first few days, they've been giving me insulin. They've been giving me like these sodium tablets, because I was super dehydrated also. So, you know, after a week of being in the hospital, I'm like, dude, I'm not sick anymore. Like, you know, they take me off all machines. They're like, yeah, you're pretty much good to go. You know, my blood sugar is still high. They're like, you're going to have to lower your blood sugar as you go. But, you know, you're pretty much free to go. You don't really have to be here. So I'm super happy. Then my parents come, and then they break the news to me. They're like, we want to keep him for a few days. I'm pretty sure it's just because, you know, Halloween was coming up, and I guess they give kids stuff on Halloween. I didn't really care for it. Like, they gave me a Jamba Juice card that to this day, I still haven't used. I'm not even sure if it works anymore. I don't even know where the Jamba Juice card is, but, you know, he gave me like a bag full of like cool stuff, you know, little toys, Jamba Juice card and all that. I didn't really care. I'm like, all right, whatever. But yeah, they let me out. Over time, they're just like, look, you're just going to have to take insulin. You're just going to have to drop your blood sugar on your own. Like, you're just going to have to, you know, learn a diet, learn to, like, take better care of yourself. And then sooner or later, you know, your blood sugar will drop naturally. So it's like, all right, whatever, cool. You know, I don't have to be here. Nothing really goes on. I remember my family also coming to me halfway through the hospital, and they come and give me, like, money and stuff. I gained, like, you know, I haven't seen my family in a long time before also, like, my grandparents from my father's side. So they came, they gave me money, you know. Other relatives came, because they haven't visited me. I haven't been able to visit them. So they come, they give me money. They, you know, it's like, cool, I got money. You know, I went and bought a full band setup for Guitar Hero. Warriors of Rock, is it? It's like one of the last Guitar Hero games where, like, you turn into, like, the monsters and stuff. So, you know, I bought an extra guitar, a microphone, and a drum set. Bought GTA 4, which was honestly the best GTA game, in my opinion, that I've played recently. Definitely better than GTA 5. That's not really relevant, but I remember they gave me a bunch of money, and I went and bought a bunch of stuff. So, you know, life is good. At school, I had to start taking insulin with me, and at first, they prescribed me insulin, like, in the vials where you had to have, like, needles. Like, you had to grab a syringe, put the syringe in the bottle, pull out the insulin, and then, you know, put it into you. That's how they had me on the system at first, and it worked, but I always felt weird because, you know, I was a kid who was carrying a syringe with him at school, but, you know, obviously I wasn't going to stab anyone. It was more for me, or it was only for me. I wasn't going to tell anyone, but I always felt weird, like, what if, like, a cop stopped me, like, randomly and checked my backpack, and, you know, I have a syringe in my backpack. They're going to be like, what the hell are you doing with this, kid? You know, even though I could easily tell them, yeah, I'm diabetic, it's insulin, they wouldn't have said anything, but I just always felt weird because now I was just carrying a syringe. And, eventually they moved me on to, like, insulin pens, which has the insulin already in the pen. You would just screw on a new needle onto the top and then use it, dispose of the needle, then, you know, every time you needed it, you would put a new needle on. You would set it to how many milliliters of insulin you needed, like 5 milliliters or what. Or I don't think it was milliliters, but whatever. But then sometimes I would still have to go back to old needles because they didn't always, you know, the pharmacy I went to didn't always have the insulin pen. So I'd be like, oh, well, your doctor said if we don't have these to give you this. It's the same insulin no matter what. It's just we don't have it in the pens that are easier. So, dude, I'm going to keep dying. I'm going to quit playing, actually. I'm going to switch out to something else. So, you know, there were certain times where they give me normal needles, like normal syringes, and then the bottles. And we're going to move forward in time. We're not going to, like, dwell too far in the past. And I don't remember exactly when this happened. This was actually fairly recently because I was in school when this happened, actually. And there's 2 times where needles messed up on me that I was super afraid of. So there was one time when I was at home and I was putting the cap back on a needle because, you know, obviously if you're going to dispose of a syringe or even the needle tips, you need to put the cap back on it and then you can get rid of it. It's just safer in the end. So I was putting the cap back on this needle on the insulin pen, and these needles are super thin. And the thing is, I'm afraid of needles that are too thick. I'm afraid of thin needles and thick needles. I'm just afraid of needles in general, especially after, you know, having to inject myself at least 7 times a day. Or at least 5 times, upwards of like 10 times a day, depending on how my sugar was. I'm not playing this on Hell and After. I just messed up. So what ended up happening is I'm putting the cap back on this needle. And I guess the needle kind of bent when I was putting the cap back on, and I ended up stabbing my finger super bad. Started bleeding. It wouldn't stop bleeding because that's how fine the needle was, which you'd think, hey, it's a fine needle. Wouldn't it be smaller? I don't know. I guess this needle tore my skin because it wouldn't stop bleeding for a while. So, you know, that kind of scared me from needles, first off. Then one day I'm in school and I have a normal syringe. Oh, no. Yeah, actually, I did have a normal syringe. And obviously, when you put a needle in, you want to put it in and pull it out straight. And thank God I'm not recording my face while I'm recording this because I'm cringing hard. My stomach's actually starting to ball up right now. Yeah, so when you put a needle in, obviously you want to put the needle in straight and take it out straight. You don't want to bend it. So I put it in straight and I pulled it out straight. When I pulled the needle out of my body, Oh, this is so hard to say. I don't want to imagine this, but I have to for the video. Oh, my stomach fucking hurts now. So, I pulled the needle out of my stomach. Put it in straight, pull it out straight. The needle comes out of my body, bent. Damn near 90-degree angle. And it's falling out of the syringe. So, I'm fucking freaking out. And I said I wasn't going to try to swear that much, but, you know, like, I'm freaking out. The school nurse is like, what's going on? Like, I'm scared because she's standing right next to me. She used to stand next to me. Then after a while, she's like, look, I trust you. I know I don't need to be here to watch you. And she especially said that after that time. So she's like, what's wrong? Because I'm like, I'm making a weird noise. I can't even replicate the noise, but apparently I was making a noise. She looks and she sees the needle, once again, at a 90-degree angle pretty much, and not even hanging onto the needle. She's like, oh my God, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I put it in straight and I pulled it out straight and this is what happened. Ever since then, I've just been afraid of needles. And mind you, this is when I was at a time where I was taking insulin daily. Like I'm saying, I still had to take shots for a while, you know, but like now I haven't been on insulin since 2013. I remember the last time I took insulin was when I started stretching my ears. That's for sure. Oh, excuse me. That's for sure. I stopped doing insulin before I started stretching my ears. And this is also around the same time I stopped drinking soda, which helped me lose weight and help control my sugar. But, you know, I was still taking insulin maybe, you know, a few months afterwards. Yeah, this was when I was in 11th grade. So, you know, for a while, I still had to take insulin for a few months and everything. But then soon I just gave up on it. But ever since then, I've just, you know, needles scare me. And a lot of people know about my tattoo plans because honestly, for every inch of my body, I have a plan for a tattoo pretty much. And people say, if you're afraid of needles, how are you not afraid of tattoos? The thing is, tattoo needles are way different than like injecting needles for insulin. There's a huge difference and you can look it up. And to me, there's a huge difference. I haven't gotten a tattoo yet, so I'm not really sure if this difference is real. But they look different. Like, secondly, you know, tattoo needles aren't going as far into your skin as you would need to put a shot in. So, you know, I still want to get tattoos, and it's just going to happen. But shots are, like, very scary. Like, when I get a shot done, I haven't gotten no, actually, I did have to get a shot fairly recently for school. You know, like, school, you always have to take shots, but, you know, it's been a while since I took a shot, and even when someone else is giving me a shot, I have to be very careful. I can't watch this person give me a shot. It's like, if you're giving me a shot, I'm putting in music, you don't fucking tell me when you're putting it in. I will feel when you put it on, first off. But, you know, like, I tense up, and they put it in, I don't fucking move. I'm there, I'm a stick figure, I don't move, they pull it out, we're done. We don't even talk anymore. It's like, alright, whatever, you gave me a shot, I'm done, bye. You know, but needles have just been scary to me ever since those two experiences where I stabbed myself because a needle bent in a cap, and then the other time when a needle pretty much broke off in my skin. And it had me wondering too, and I still wonder about it to this day, what had happened if that needle would have broke off in me? Like, I'm pretty sure they would have had to take me to the hospital, because there's no way in hell I'm gonna fucking let a nurse or a janitor come at me with like pliers to pull out a needle. It's like, I'm going to the hospital. Mind you, also, when I was in the back of the ambulance, because when I was in the hospital for a week, they transferred me from one hospital up in Roseville to a hospital in downtown. That's about a 30-minute drive. Put me in a ambulance. They wouldn't let someone else drive me, so that's a bunch of money that got wasted for, like, really something I didn't ask for. And they never closed the door properly in the ambulance. I'm on a stretcher, and they never closed the door right, and halfway I asked them, like, hey, the guys, the door's opening slightly. They're like, oh yeah, we didn't close it right. And the door swung open, and they're like, yeah, we got it, don't worry. I'm like, now this is another part where I'm gonna swear. In my head, I'm like, motherfucker, I'm on a stretcher in the back of a van on the goddamn freeway. You better close that door. Don't fucking leave it open thinking it's alright, because you know what? If anything, you guys are buckled into a seatbelt. Yeah, I got the brakes on this stretcher, but still, either way, I'm not going to trust that in my life. So the guy gets up, closes it, you know, but it's still like, dude, come on, why did you guys not close it properly before? Why did you guys wait till now to close it? Like, do your goddamn job properly the first time and there won't be a problem. But, yeah guys, that was the first story time. I don't know what gameplay I'm going to have in the background. Maybe 60 seconds. I don't know. I'm going to figure something out. That's, you know, could be monetized. Because I'm saying, I kind of want to make these videos monetized. It would help me out. You know, there was nothing inappropriate about the story. This is all, like, true life story stuff. So, you know, of course there was swearing, but there's other YouTubers who swear worse than me who still get away with monetization. So, that shouldn't affect it at all. If so, I'm going to appeal the shit out of this video. But, yeah. 2 needles pretty much messed up on me. Pretty much scarred me for life on, like, injecting myself with needles. And I don't even like injecting myself with needles, but I'd rather inject myself than have someone else inject me, you know? Like, of course, there's still, like, you know, shots that doctors have to give you. They won't let you inject yourself, but, you know, if given the choice, you know, would you rather inject yourself or have someone else inject you? I trust myself at the end of the day. I'm sorry. I know there's medical professionals who practice giving needle shots, like, my cousin, Emmanuel, he, not sure if he's a nurse, but he works in the medical field somewhat, and he was saying that they train people to give him shots, and I've even told him this story about, like, how, you know, these needles have broke off in me, and I don't like it, and he's like, yeah, it kind of sucks, but, you know, doctors and nurses train pretty much so they could give people shots, and I'm just like, you know, at the end of the day, I'd still rather not get a shot. Obviously, there's some cases where you need to get a shot, but I'd rather prefer, like, oral treatments, like pills or, like, liquid. But sometimes it's not, like, possible. You need to get a shot. So, yeah, guys. I don't know what the next story is going to be about. Like, I haven't planned any other stories. I don't know. Like I'm saying, my life also isn't that, like, interesting. There's not too many stories out. I don't know. I guess we could talk about the first time I ever got pulled over, which I've talked about before, definitely on Quick Play, but I don't know, I feel I'd like to go more in depth. With these storytime videos, a lot of these stories are going to be repeated from old Quick Plays, which, if you've been a viewer of mine for a long time, you've probably heard these stories, but, you know, my Quick Plays aren't that viewed. Not a lot of people watch Quick Plays, so that's why I want to bring back old stories, especially stuff that's important. I'm not going to bring back an old story about me going to work because there's nothing special about that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. You know, let me know if you've ever had anything like this happen to you guys. Like, you know, a needle bending inside of you at pretty much a 90-degree angle is pretty scary. And it's not something anyone ever wants. Like, especially, like, just the way that horrified me. Like, it still just shocks me. And it still makes me cringe every time I remembered the way the needle was. So, until next time, have an awesome day. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Android Time and Kirby's Epic Yarn. And in Android Time, I'm going to talk about what happened at work. Because like I said, I just want this video to be out today. I don't want any other video. So, I do have another short video that's going to go out later today. That's going to be regarding a live stream on Halloween. But until then, have an awesome day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.